If someone like Niccolò Machiavelli were alive now, he wouldn't be writing books or posting online. He'd be quietly running things from the background. He'd be the person pulling strings so cleverly that you'd think things just happened by themselves. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, Machiavelli would win by staying hidden. Today, I'll show you how. Not with fancy quotes, but with practical ideas. Minus 21 mind games for full control. Based on what Machiavelli would do, people usually believe what they see, not what they hear. If you can control how people see you, you can control what they do. Rule 1. Always let them think you're not a threat. Machiavelli knew it's best to keep your power secret. Nowadays, everyone rushes to show off, prove how smart they are, or show they're the boss. But Machiavelli wouldn't be loud. He'd come in last, watch first, and only speak when no one expects it, saying things no one else would dare. Hey, this way. He'd be in charge of the room without anyone noticing until it's too late. Let them think you're quiet, it's harmless, or unimportant. When they think you're no danger, they'll show their true selves. That's when you act, catching them off guard. Rule 2. Being liked works better than being honest in today's world, where everyone cares about how things look. What people believe spreads faster than the truth. Machiavelli knew people see what you seem to be, and only a few know what you really like. So, he wouldn't waste time trying to prove he was honest. He'd focus on making people believe a certain idea about him. He'd smile in meetings while secretly planning things. He'd charm his enemies, make them feel safe, and get them to lower their guard by being friendly. The trick isn't to be good, but to make people think you're good. You don't need to be truthful. You need to be convincing. Don't try to correct how people see you. Use it to your advantage. Let them think you're the good guy while you quietly change the outcome. Rule 3. Make things a bit confusing on purpose. Most people try hard to be understood. Machiavelli would do the opposite. He'd keep people guessing. One day he'd be cold, the next generous. Sometimes quiet, sometimes really intense. Not because he was confused, but because they would be. Confusion makes people curious. Curiosity makes them pay attention. Paying attention gives you power. When people can't figure you out, they study you. They analyze every word. They overthink your silence. They start circling around your mystery, trying to understand what they can't control. That's power. You're not just a person, you're a puzzle, and puzzles become obsessions. Machiavelli would say, the people you control most are the ones who think about you the most. So stop explaining everything. Stop making your position clear. Stop filling every quiet moment. Leave some gaps. Speak. In hints, smile when they ask questions you won't answer. Because confusion leads to wanting to know more. That wanting becomes a strong pull. Rule 4. Show what you want them to see. Hide what you're doing in a world where everyone shares everything. Machiavelli would work in the shadows. Everyone's building their online image, sharing updates, showing off their progress. But as soon as people see what you're doing, they start planning against you. They form groups. They make up stories. They set traps for you. So what would Machiavelli do? He'd show his results, but keep his methods secret. He'd look open and honest while hiding how he truly gets things done. A leader must be ready to do things that go against being loyal, kind, human, or religious to keep their power. This means look good on the outside, but be tough and focused on the inside. Don't show your plans. Don't explain how your systems work. Don't tell people what you're building until it's already done. Let them think you're slow or resting, then quietly pass them by. Control what they see. Protect your methods. Rule 5. Show a perfect side, then let it slip a little. Machiavelli understood something that smart people use today. Perfect things are easily forgotten. Flaws make people interested. So, you create a perfect image. Confident, calm/smart. But just once, let that image crack. Show a small, controlled flaw, a sharp comment, a planned moment of weakness, sudden burst of an idea that shows you're deeper than they thought. Why? Because people don't obsess over what they already understand. They obsess over what feels just out of reach. Give them most of the story, then go quiet. They'll try to find the missing parts for years. A wise leader should seem good, but be ready to do the opposite if needed. So be the good person, then show a quick flash of a darker side. Let them see a hint of something deeper, then hide it again. You'll become unforgettable. Not because they loved your perfect image, but because they saw it break. And now they want to know what's underneath. Rule 6. Always say less than you need to when people talk too much. They show their weaknesses, they need approval, they fear being misunderstood, they depend emotionally on things being clear. But the person who speaks clearly and stops before explaining too much controls the room. Machiavelli didn't speak to be understood. He spoke to create distance, used words like sharp tools, not comforting blankets. In a discussion, a disagreement, or a tense moment, he'd say 1 or 2 sentences at most. Then he'd let the silence speak louder, and that silence, that's where the fear starts. Why? Because now they're thinking. They wonder, what does he know? Why isn't he reacting? What's he planning? You've said nothing, but they've made up a whole story in their heads, and you're the villain they can't beat. So when you're in charge, say just enough, not to make them happy, not to impress them, just to guide their thoughts. Then stop. Let them lean in. Let them guess. Let them worry. Because real mystery is made in the space between words. Rule 7. Make them unsure if you're a threat or a friend in today's world. People want to know where everyone stands, who's on their side, who's against them, who's safe, and who's dangerous. Machiavelli would never let them feel that sure. He'd eat dinner with enemies, publicly praise rivals, and defend people he secretly planned to get rid of. Why? Because when people think you're dangerous, they get ready for a fight. But when they think you're neutral, they relax. And the best time to make your move is when they're relaxed. A lion can't escape traps, and a fox can't fight off wolves. So you have to be like a fox to spot traps, and like a lion to scare away wolves. You must be both. So you'd praise an enemy's idea right before you outsmart them. You'd agree with someone criticizing you just before quietly replacing them. Seem passive until your absence becomes a weapon. Be friendly, be supportive, be harmless, looking until the moment you act. By then, it's too late to stop you. In simple terms, say less, smile more, pretend to be neutral, and then remove them while they're still confused about whether you're even a threat. Rule 8. Make them feel safe right before you take over the easiest way to get rid of someone isn't by fighting them. It's by making them believe you're no danger. You're on their side. You want them to win. Then, when they finally trust you, you make your move. Machiavelli would study how you act, copy your words, praise your ideas, and disagree gently. He'd never make you feel like you're losing. He'd make you feel like you're guiding him. Once you feel safe, he would act quickly, clearly, and cleanly. By the time you feel tricked, he's already taken your place. People are simple and easily follow what they want right now, so someone who tricks them will always find victims. So, tell them what they want to hear, show them what they want to see, and take what they never thought you'd touch. All while smiling. Rule 9. Make people need you, then leave them. If Machiavelli wanted to control someone, he wouldn't threaten them. He'd help them in ways that slowly, quietly made them depend on him. He'd teach them something no one else could. He'd solve a problem no one else would. He'd give them stability they didn't earn. He'd become someone they couldn't do without ever asking for praise. Then he'd leave. Not angrily, not for revenge, just by stepping away. Why? Because nothing hurts people faster than suddenly losing something they've gotten used to. People stay honest only when they have to. When they're free to do what they want, they're not honest. So Machiavelli would become the thing they couldn't live without. The person you thought you didn't need until you lost them. That's how you become unforgettable. Create an empty space. Make them lean on you. Then pull your hand away mid-step. They won't hate you. They'll hate how much they need you and spend years trying to fill the empty space. Rule 10. Use favors like a weapon. Most people offer help to be liked. Machiavelli would offer help to gain power. If he gave you something, he wouldn't let you forget it. He wouldn't demand payment with force. He'd demand it with his presence. You'd feel like you owed him. You'd feel small. You'd feel a mental imbalance you couldn't fix. And that's the whole point. You offer them an easier way, a solution, an advantage. Then you step back a little. You don't ask for anything. You just let the imbalance cause discomfort until they start paying you back with loyalty, favors, information, or by giving in. And if they forget, you gently remind them. Hey, remember that time I just once? Enough to make them realize you own a piece of their pride? Favors, when used patiently, become like mental chains. And the longer they go unacknowledged, the heavier they feel. Rule 11. Make them loyal by having them betray others, for you people think loyalty is earned by being kind. It's not. Machiavelli knew the best way to make someone loyal is to get them to do something wrong for your benefit. You don't force betrayal. You allow it. Let them tell you something they shouldn't. Let them break a small rule for you. Let them talk badly about someone to get your approval. You never ask. You never pressure. You just leave the door slightly open and they walk through. Now they're tied to you, not by admiration, but by being involved in something secret with you. People protect the things they've done wrong for. So when someone betrays others for you, they are investing in you. And the more they invest, the less they can afford to lose you. That's how Machiavelli would make allies. Not by being charming, but by getting people caught up with him. Rule 12. Break up groups from the inside. Machiavelli didn't just outsmart single people. He broke down whole groups not by fighting, but by slowly wearing them down. He wouldn't attack the group directly. He'd get inside it. He'd plant ideas, seeds of doubt, different opinions. Someone who helps another person become powerful destroys themselves, so he'd find the strongest connection in the group and slowly make it suspicious. I heard he said something about you. Have you noticed how she never really stands up for you? I'm not saying anything, just watch how they act. That's all it takes. You don't need to destroy the group, you just make them destroy themselves. Let their fear of being betrayed do the work for you, because once trust breaks inside a group, the whole thing falls apart without a single hit. Rule 13. Show them their own doubts. Gently want someone to obey you without realizing it. Make them feel understood, but only in ways that confirm their own self-doubt. Not with insults or criticism, but with soft, well-timed comments. Really brave, especially for someone who isn't used to a lot of attention. Always seem to make it through. Even when people don't take you seriously, you're doing great, even if you don't always feel confident. What do these statements do? You make them agree with their own pain, and once you've made yourself the person who understands them, they stick to you, they listen to you, start to move under your emotional influence. Machiavelli understood that fear and self-doubt are much more powerful than threats, because threats make people defensive. But self-doubt opens the door from the inside. Once you're in, you become the only voice they trust. Rule 14. Never be the one doing the dirty work in every betrayal, every tough decision, every harsh removal. Machiavelli had one main rule: let others do the unpleasant tasks. He would plan the results, whisper ideas, influence decisions, but never be the one in the spotlight. When someone needed to be cut off, he'd make it seem like they were never truly loyal in the first place. When a rival needed to be removed, he'd let them mess up on their own with just the right amount of encouragement. When chaos was needed, he'd give information to both sides, then step away before the trouble started. Why? Because if people see you as the one who does the cutting, you make enemies. But if you're seen as the natural choice after someone else fails, you gain followers. This is the Machiavellian masterpiece, seeming to have clean hands. You planned everything. You controlled everyone. But no one can prove it. And even if they suspect you, you're already in the position the last person had. Rule 15. Say nothing and let them tell you everything in any room. The most powerful person isn't the loudest. It's the one who says nothing and watches everything. Why? Because silence is a weapon that looks like doing nothing. Machiavelli would walk into today's world of talking and digital noise and win by being the one person who doesn't share everything. He wouldn't fill the quiet. He'd let others struggle with it. Here's how he'd use it. Someone insults you. You say nothing? Someone asks your opinion. You smile and let them keep talking. Someone tries to make you emotional. You blink, stay quiet, and show no reaction. That silence forces them to talk more. And the more they talk, the more they show their doubts, their plans, their weak points. You don't have to question them. They'll tell you everything just to fill the quiet space you've used as a weapon. Never try to win by force. What can be won by trickery? And silence is the cleverest form of trickery. Rule 16, be unpredictable. But only when it counts. Machiavelli would never be random, but he would be unreliable at important times. Why? Because being predictable makes you easy to control. If they always know when you'll reply, they'll set the pace. If they always know how you react under stress, they'll plan what they do to provoke you. If they know you'll always take the high road, they'll walk all over you. But if sometimes you forgive, and sometimes you disappear, if sometimes you speak, and sometimes you let them drown in silence, if sometimes you get involved, and sometimes you watch them fall apart, they will fear you. Not because you're aggressive, but because you're impossible to read. Machiavelli knew people are driven by two main things: love or fear. But fear comes from not knowing what will happen. And the person they can't predict is the person they can't prepare for. Rule 17. Make your presence felt even when you're not there to control people mentally. You don't always need to be around. You need to make them feel your impact when you're not there. How? By becoming the standard, the example, the idea that hangs over every conversation. You second-guess their choices because of how you used to correct them. They can't fully celebrate wins because they wonder what you would have done. They don't fully trust others because they remember how spot in your judgment was. This is like building a mental brand. It's not based on what you say, but on your energy. You leave your mark by how you act when you're in the room. Measured, observant, controlled, precise. So when you're gone, they don't forget you. They compare everyone else to you. Machiavelli wouldn't need to fire people. He'd create such a strong memory that even when absent, they'd still follow his rules. Rule 18. Never threaten. Let fear do the work. Threats create resistance. Machiavelli never needed to say, "I'll destroy you." He let others wonder if he might. That wondering, that mental pressure, is far more damaging than words. Here's how it works today. You don't say, "I could expose you." You just pause when they lie and watch them squirm. You don't say, "I'll ruin your chances." You just make one phone call, then say nothing else. You don't say you're finished. You simply disappear from their world and let them panic about what you're doing. Why? Because fear based on imagination is more powerful than fear based on actual information. Once they fear what you might do, they start working for your approval. Just to avoid finding out? Rule 19. Wait to get back at them until it hurts the most. Machiavelli didn't believe in quick revenge. He believed in watching, waiting, letting the wrong acts sit and fester until the timing was perfect. Harm should be done all at once, so that its bad feeling is less. Favors should be given little by little. This meant when someone wronged him, he didn't react, he studied them. He let them relax, let them believe they'd gotten away with it. And then one day when they least expected it, he acted cleanly, carefully, completely. Because revenge isn't just about punishment. When you react immediately, you let the other person set the pace. But when you delay, they live in fear. They can't enjoy their wins. They can't sleep soundly. They fear every quiet moment. And that fear does more harm than any angry outburst ever could. Rule 20. Become a system. Not just a person. Machiavelli never wanted to be liked. He wanted to be respected. Not because he was charming, but because getting rid of him would mean destroying the whole setup. That's the smart move today. Stop being just a name. Start being a network, an idea, a standard, a plan built into how others work. Train others to think like you. Make yourself vital in systems no one else understands. Embed your ideas in decisions that continue to affect things after you're gone. So, even if they don't want you, they can't work without you. This is how lasting power is built. You're not just feared when you're present. You're remembered in systems they can't get rid of. That's not just influence. It's lasting mental control. Rule 21. Make them afraid to say your name. The highest form of power isn't being recognized. It's being a haunting presence. Machiavelli would be the person people talk about indirectly. You know who I mean? Don't end up like him. You know how that turned out last time? They wouldn't say his name because even saying your name feels. It's like calling upon something bigger than they can handle. You don't become a trending topic. You stay in their minds. You don't win arguments. You change the whole feeling of the room. You become the one they fear mentioning because everyone else in the room already knows the consequences. If Machiavelli were alive today, he wouldn't be shouting online. He wouldn't be looking for followers. He'd be hidden in positions of power, shaping stories behind smiles and silence. He'd be the voice in your head that says, "Don't reply, don't show your hand. Let them speak first. And most importantly, don't. Chase respect. Put yourself in a position where they can't breathe without it. That's how you win. Not with fame, not with noise, but with a lasting impact they can't stop."